this summer started on a high. We qualified for Champions League football. The board actually did give me a little money to spend. I had, I wrote it down here, almost 20 million euros. I knew I was going to have a couple of players leaving. I had my scouts out looking for some quality youngsters to replace them down the road. And then Helio came to the office and said, "Boss, I want to leave for championship football." And I said, "We're playing championship football." He said, "I want to win trophies, and we can't do that here." So what happened to all my plans for the summer window? That pretty much explains it in a nutshell. My name's FM20. It's time to get real. Now, to be fair, and I don't know if I can really be fair about this, he didn't exactly pitch a fit about it. And I said, "Look, I'm not going to let you go unless I get value for you." And his original release clause was 107 million euros. As soon as he came to me and made the request, I tried signing him to a new contract, and he said no. He wasn't interested in talking. And I said, "Okay, I'll release you if someone comes asking for you, but I'm not going to release you unless they meet this number." And I put in his original number of 107 million. And he came back with something like 75 or something like that. And that's a lot of money, but for a player like Helio, I don't know that this is exactly value. So I countered with 88. And so far, the only team that wants him is Mainz. And I don't think they have 88 million euros. So he's staying for now. He's playing for now. He's doing well for us. As you can see here, we were pretty active on the transfer window. We sold 2.8 million worth of players. We bought 27.5 million euros worth of players on the outs. I'm going to sort this by fee here. A lot of players going out on loan. Jose Miguel Esposito, Juan Jesus Flores, Ricardo Piccione, Adelson Andrade, Alexander Voloder, Moises Gil, John Kitolano. He wanted more playing time. I was like, "Look, you're a backup. I don't know how much playing time you're going to get. Would you like to go out on loan?" And he jumped at it. Gorka Martinez, who is a young defensive center back, I want to say. Yeah, he's not getting any better, and he's 21 years old now. He wasn't going to get first-team playing time here, so he went out on loan. And they're all getting at least 50% of their salary paid for if they're playing, in some cases more. Jurgen Serra was a young winger. No, he was a midfielder who we lost money on, I'll be honest. We bought him in for 150. We sold him for 36. It was one of those cases where he wanted playing time. He wasn't going to get it here, and I was just interested in moving him for money. He was part of that first group of youth intake players I brought in who I thought could turn into something and didn't. Mark Reith is in the same boat. We bought him for 275. We sold him for 195, so not a huge loss there. Danilo Vega was a midfielder that I brought in as kind of an all-round replacement for my midfield and center backs. He did okay for us when he played, but he never really got a lot of playing time. He was interested in more playing time. We loaned him out to Guimarães last year, but he didn't play for them. And then we offered him out for transfer, and Guimarães snapped him up for 650,000 euros, which makes it for what we lost on Reith and the other guy, and they're still not playing him. So, obviously something's going on at Guimarães. I'm not quite sure what. Gabor Kovac was our young advanced midfielder on the left. He's 23 years old now, which means he's probably not going to be getting any better than this 2.5-star current ability. He did okay for us when he came in and played. Problem is, I've got Fontaine over there now, and I've got other capable replacements that I'm more comfortable playing there. He had a really good season on the high and B squad, but then again, all our B squad does is play friendlies. So I think that's one of this performance here, which he did the same time. Like last year, he started 14 games for us, 2 goals, 2 assists, a 6.78 rating. I think that and what he was doing on the B squad convinced Lech Poznan to pay 775,000 euros for him. For a guy we got on a free, that more than makes up for what we lost on those other 2 players. And then Ivan Mesic kind of found himself on the outside looking in. 26 years old, 2.5-star current ability, 3.5-star potential ability, wasn't getting any better. absolutely hated big matches, which came back to bite us more often than not. Just made a lot of mistakes at the end of the year last year, which really kind of soured me on him. Plus, I've got a capable replacement for him, I believe. We'll have to wait and see how that turns out. We loaned him out to Lorient last year, and he started 15 games and really didn't do much. I put him out there, and Deportivo La Coruña snapped him up for 1.1 million euros for a player that we brought in for 1.6 or 1.5 rather. Yeah, we lost a little bit of money on that, but we made up for it with the other sales we had. And frankly, I probably could have negotiated harder on some of these sales, but I was so upset by Helio coming to me and asking for a transfer that was just like, oh, that's your offer? Sure, I'll take it. So on the ins, the first is, well, we're going to list by loans and frees and then the money guys. So the first is Alberto Aguirre, a young player from Athletic Club. Defensive left back, defensive right back. With Kitolano leaving, I needed a capable young replacement that could play both positions, that I could stick on the bench and be comfortable with him stepping in and playing either the defensive left back or defensive right back positions. And this guy fulfills that role admirably. 5'7", 147 pounds, but physically he's solid. Technically he's solid. Mentally he's fabulous. 16 decision making, 15 determination, 16 positioning, 17 teamwork, 18 work rate. This is one of those guys that I hadn't scouted before because he is on Athletic Club's roster, and I usually don't go after youth players on other teams in my league because they will demand exorbitant prices for them more often than not. That's been my experience. But they had him out for loan, I believe. Yeah, we're not paying a monthly fee for him. We're just paying his salary of 11,250 euros, which is fine. And he's one of those guys that, depending on what happens this offseason, I might try and make a move for him. He's 18 years old, or he's 20 years old, so there's a good possibility he can definitely get that 4.5-star potential, but he's already a good defensive left back or defensive right back now. I'd be comfortable starting him on either side. Starting the freeze in. First, Lorenza Ibanez from Parla Escuela. I went out and needed some help on the under-19s squad because my depth was really kind of weak there. And brought him in on trial, liked what I saw, and signed him. And granted, he's never going to play for Hyatt in La Liga. But he's 16 years old, 1-star current ability, 2.5-star potential ability. I think that's wrong. I think, given his physicals right now and his mentals right now, that is probably 3, maybe 3.5 stars. 6'5", 170 pounds already. Physically, he'll get better. Mentally, he's already strong where it counts. 17 determination, 17 bravery, 14 work rate. The positioning and concentration are going up. He's got 14 aggression. Technically, he'll get better. 8 tackling, or 8 marking, 7 tackling. That's pretty adequate. Actually, who wants him? Leverjean at Roque's case. What I need to do is send him out on loan. He's not on a huge contract, so I should be able to get some of that back. He needs playing time. He'll get it on the under-19s, but if I can get it on a lower league squad where he'll get significant playing time, I will be happy with that. But we brought him in on a free. Their Parla Escuela is a regional team from Madrid. The big reason he caught my eye was because he was fairly determined, and his physicals and his technicals, or his physicals and his mentals rather, where I like them to be, are already really high. I don't believe, part of me says he will never see a game in La Liga, but if we can develop him up, build him up to be 3-star current ability, he could be a backup player for us, or we could sell him on for a decent amount of money. Any money we get off this guy is going to be money in the bank because we brought him in on a free. Dennis Batha. De La Evora isn't getting any younger, and I needed to start developing some players. Now, he kind of falls in the same boat as the last guy. 1.5-star current ability, 3-star potential ability. I think this potential ability is off, though. I think he is a 4-star, maybe 5-star potential player, because I'm looking at him. He's 17 years old. His physicals are already this good. His mentals are already this good. His technicals, he's got a 10 crossing, a 10 passing, a 10 technique. Granted, his marking of 4 and tackling of 6 are bad, but that's... Part of me says what I really ought to do is take him and train him to be an advanced midfielder on the right. But if I didn't have Fontaine and a couple other young kids there who could step in, I would be doing that. As it is, I'm going to train him as a complete wing back. That's what he's working on now. He's got the physicals for it. He's got the mentals for it. The technicals I can work on for at least the next 4 years. And push comes to shove, I think he will get games for us when we're in La Liga. Next in, Mario Hill. Needed some depth on the under-19 squad. And then looked around and realized I really don't care about the under-19 squad this year. We did really well last year, and we didn't really make improvements on it. And maybe that's a mistake on my part. I don't know. But he is 1.5 star current ability, 3 star potential ability. I also think this is low just based on the fact that he's 18 years old. His physicals are this good. His mentals are this good. His technicals are this good where they count. The only thing that really bothers me is the 3 bravery and 5 positioning. But as you can see, I've been working on that. So I think he's going to fall into the same group of players that the last guy did. He will probably be a sometime starter for us or a good backup player, or I can definitely move him on for a decent sum of money. Then Lucas Bunin from Colendres. 17 years old, midfielder. I saw him because he plays a solid carrilero and a solid midfielder. He's also a decent box-to-box midfielder in Mazzala. Physically, he's not the best. Technically, he's good where it counts, or mentally rather, he's good where it counts. I love the decision-making and the determination. The work rate is nice. Technically, he needs some help. The 11 passing is good, but the 5 tackling and 6 marking are going to have to come up. This was a risk, but he's also one of those players that I can stick on the under-19s, and he will improve, especially with the training that we're doing here. You know, chances are he may never develop, but chances are also highly likely that if that happens, I can still move him on for money. And then we started spending a little bit of money. Peter Hoffman, defensive center back. 2-star current ability, 4.5 star potential ability, 18 years old. He's already solid physically. Mentally, he is fantastic. The only thing that really bothers me at the moment is the 7 bravery, and that is actually coming up. But other than that, the 18 determination, 17 teamwork, 15 work rate is nice. The anticipation is nice. The bravery is adequate. It could be better, but it's adequate. Technically, 12 marking, 16 tackling, those are only going to get better as I can improve on his passing and dribbling as we get closer to first team playing time for him. I suspect in a couple years, he will be part of the rotation, if not one of the starters on the defensive back 4. 6'1", 165 pounds. Works well within a team. He was one of those players that I saw on the scouting. You go out and you search for personalities, and then you pick your areas of attributes that you like, then best 4 or 5. It's the Viking Dan method, and it's worked out really well for me. Peter Hoffman came in on a trial. I really liked him. I went back to his squad, or I went back to his club and said, hey, what will it take for me to get him? They said, he's not for sale at any price. I turned around and said, hey, how about 2.5 million euros? And they said, sold. So the club he is in the Czechoslovakian. It's the Czech League. Yeah, the Czech Republic. So they're competing with Slavia Prague and a couple other teams. So they can use the money. I am more than happy to buy it from them. Next in, Matheus Schubert. And this actually came across the transfer window screenflow I have. I saw that when I'm watching it in stream and that, or when I'm watching it when I'm recording, I just glance at it to see if there's anything going on with Hein in terms of rumors. And there was a rumor that said, we're going to make a move for Matheus Schubert from PSG for 3.9 million euros. I was like, well, why is PSG letting a player go for 3.9 million euros? Then I looked at them. PSG is absolutely stacked at defensive center back. It is not even funny. This kid's 3.5 star current ability, 4 star potential ability, 22 years old, 6'2", 182 pounds. This good physically, this good mentally. Technically, he's good where it matters. 14 heading, 15 marking, 15 tackling, 17 determination, 16 positioning and bravery, 14 anticipation. The composure, the concentration, decision making are all nice. I mean, the aggression is a 10, which, it's good. It's not bad. It's good. And that's fine. 3.9 million euros, and me bringing him in was the big reason I let Messick go. You can't convince me that he's not going to be a good fit for the club. And if for whatever reason some of the other youngsters I play develop faster, I can't then turn around and move him for anything close to his 15 million euro value. It's a steal. I don't think there's any other way to put it. PSG let him go for pennies. They could have gotten more from a bunch of other clubs, but he was happy to come here, and I'm more than happy to play him. As you can see, he started 2 games for us. He's already got a goal off a set piece. Got a yellow card too. So, Robert Maria. So, Helio came in and said, I want to lead to a bigger club. I want to win trophies. I want to win championships. And I said, okay, cool. I need to find your replacement. And I went looking around, and Robert Maria played for FC Voluntari, who are in the Romanian First League. I don't have them loaded, but they're a decent club. I want to say this is the one that the former Romanian player founded like 20 years ago. But they were runners-up last year. And if you look at them, they've got decent youth facilities and decent training facilities. Yeah, this is the one that the former Romanian player created in 2010. And they've soared up the Romanian football pyramid. And now they are an established Liga 1 team. They crop up from time to time on the, hey, go check out this club in this Eastern European nation if you want to steal one of their younger kids. I stole one of their wonder. Helio came in and said, I want to leave. I said, I need to find a replacement. Robert Maria was out there. I asked to bring him in on trial, and they said no. And then I said, hey, what will it take to get him? And they said, $5.5 million. I countered with $4 million up front, $5.25 million in bonuses. This is going to be Helio's replacement when Helio leaves. 18 years old, 5'9", 132 pounds, plays a really good advanced forward, plays a decent pressing forward as well. Physically, he is solid. The strength of 4, okay, it's lacking, but then again, he's a striker, but he's not a target man. I'm not expecting him to be there in the scrum trying to jump up and win the headers. Mentally, he's solid, except for the positioning, and I'm trying to work on that. I really am. But the aggression, the decision-making, the determination, flair, leadership, the teamwork is nice, the work rate is nice, everything else I can live with. Technically, he's really good where it matters right now. He'd be starting for us if we didn't have Helio. And he'd probably be contributing if we didn't have Helio. As it stands, 16 years old. I read that as 18 earlier, didn't I? 16 years old. I keep him on the bench. I loan him out for 2 years. He plays on the under-19 for 2 years. He comes up. He steps in. Smilkovic will leave. Smilkovic will probably be gone by then. Andrich might be gone by then. He steps in. He takes over for Helio. Is he going to give us the 35 goals a season Helio would get us if he was staying here? Probably not. But he can get us 25. And I'm okay with that. Next in, Donnie Alonso from Real Madrid Castilla. They made him available, and I picked him up because he's better than any other midfielder I have on the bench. Adelson Andrade wasn't going to get any better. Cordonovas I like, but he's not getting any younger. Alonso is 3-star current ability, 4-star potential ability, 23 years old. He's really solid physically. He's really solid mentally. He's really solid technically. And he didn't cost us a ton of money. I think we paid below value for him. I think Madrid was just looking to move him because they wanted to get him off the roster. And I was happy to pick him up. With Matishak being injured last year, I needed a capable replacement for him, and he plays a really good deep line forward, or a deep line. He plays a really good deep line playmaker. He's also a decent box-to-box midfielder. He will get playing time for us. As you can see down below, he's come off the bench. I'm more than happy to stick him on the bench and bring him off in relief of Matishak or Fontaine or whoever else I have playing in there. And then in the games where we have the fixture congestions, I'm more than happy starting him in place of Matishak. He's a good, solid pickup for us. It's one of those pickups where you're not making your team any weaker by picking him up, and because of the player you're letting go or the player he's replacing, but you're not making him stronger either. It's essentially a one-for-one trade. And actually, I'm coming out a little bit ahead because he's better than Andrade was. Paulo Bianco from Torino. Midfielder, deep line playmaker, 17 years old. This is the future replacement for Matishak. Assuming I can get his physicals up. The jumping reach at 2 is absolutely insane. I have no idea what's going on with that. But mentally, 17 bravery, 15 decision, 19 determination, 14 teamwork, 13 vision, 11 work rate. 11 off the ball at 17 years old. Technically, 16 passing already, 11 technique. The others, the marking's a 9, the long shots are a 9, the first touch is a 9. Those will get better. 3 years worth of training, he will definitely be a 3-star player, if not a 4-star player. The only thing I'm worried about is the jumping reach and maybe some of the technicals. If those don't improve, then we may have hobbled ourselves there. And then last, but certainly not least, Bladon Vojnovic. I know how to pronounce this. Bladon Vojnovic. Midfielder. Box-to-box midfielder. Pure box-to-box midfielder. This is the big reason I picked him up. He's a realist, which is a personality that can be a little finicky, but he's 2-star current ability, 5-star potential ability. 17 years old, 5'7", 143 pounds. He's this good physically already. Mentally, he's solid across the board already. Technically, solid across the board already. 13 passing, 10 tackling, 11 marking, 11 first touch, 10 dribbling, the 8 finishing. Okay, maybe that's a bit on the low side, but he's got a 12 for long shots too. Frankly, he's a Frank Kessie in the making. He's going to be one of those guys who's absolutely going to come up, out-physical you, destroy you, and then refuse to shoot the ball from inside the box. But granted, Frank Kessie got me 25 goals one year when he was playing for me at AC Milan, so maybe that'll work. Who wants him? Girona wants him. Girona's in League 2. You know what? We are going to put him out on loan. We're going to say offer to clubs. We're going to say you want him. You pay all of his fee. Preferred position, midfield center. Preferred role, box-to-box midfielder. We're going to offer him to clubs and then see what happens. If Girona comes for him, I'm happy to loan him out to Girona because I know he's going to get first-team playing time there and it's against quality opposition. They're a La Liga 2 team. So we spent a little bit of money. We made a little bit of money, but we didn't go over our transfer budget all that much. That said, my board is driving me absolutely freaking nuts. They gave me a bunch of extra coaches on the coaching staff. They gave me more scouts on the recruitment staff. On the under-19s, they increased my coaches there. I've actually still got a coach I need to hire. And then literally 3 days ago, they said, hey, here's your new staffing requirements. They want me to get rid of 2 coaches, 2 scouts, and somebody on the U19s. But it's like, that's not happening because you told me this is how much I could pay. And frankly, I'm not over on my payroll budget at all by any stretch of the imagination. We still got a little bit of money left on the transfer budget. I've got a decent amount of money left on the scouting budget. I may have to cut back scouting South America, though. And they can't make their mind up. They still haven't revealed any stadium plans. They're not letting me get a third affiliate. What I would love to get is an affiliate in La Liga 2 or maybe like a League 2 team in France or something like that, or a Serie B team in Italy, where these players I have that are too good for the under-19s, but not good enough for my squad because I don't have a B squad. I've talked about that in the past. I can loan them out and they can get playing time there. You know, if we had like Girona as an affiliate club, I would have so many players playing on there, it wouldn't be funny. But no, they're not going for it. And I'm not in the position where it's like, I really don't want to throw my reputation around just yet. Speaking of my reputation, 3.5 stars. On our way to 4. Got our Continental Pro. Apparently, I had a son that came through a youth intake, but I didn't see him because he was so bad, I didn't even sign him to the squad. Yeah, Jamie Pellin began his career with Real High in 2025. So 2 years ago. I would have been 42. Yeah, I could see that. When my dad was 42, I was 22. So My loyalty to players is interesting, seeing as how I tend to sell a lot of players when they disappoint me or when I find someone who's better than them. Attributes wise, level of discipline, 20. Man management, 19. Motivating, 16. I'm reasonably sure that's all gone up. Technical, mental, tactical, that's gone up. I'm a really good defending coach, apparently, which makes no sense because we play an attacking formation, but that's gone up as well. So, I'm not going to argue with it. I know Spain, I know the USA, and that's pretty much it. That's why I have scouts. That's why I have good scouts. We've got some of the best scouting, if not the best scouting, in the league at one point in time. Yeah, we're second. Barcelona's got us beat. However, we're first in coaching, and our medical staff could be a little bit better. So one of the other things that's going on is I'm retooling my under-19 staff as well. So we're not going to have a goalkeeping coach. We're not going to have a fitness coach on the under-19 staff because that's because your senior coaches will take care of that for you. And I have really good fitness coaches and goalkeeping coaches on my senior squad. So that said, the offseason was okay. I finally figured out a rotation where I would play teams like 4 days apart from each other, but I'd have one half the A squad and one half the B squad play one game, and then the other halves play the second game. So I got a good rotation going on. The players got a decent amount of rest between them. We had our training in England, which is why you're seeing us play Burnley and Derby County. The other teams we tried playing said, no, we don't want to play. So we drew with Sevilla Athletica. We thumped Numancia. Burnley absolutely beat us, but I played a really weak squad against them. Derby County was a fun match. We lost on a 76-minute kick. So, but then again, it was a friendly. No one got injured. We absolutely thumped Trask. So this was really a B squad that went up against them. And we totally outclassed them, which bodes well, I think, for when we play our Copa del Rey matches and that. Played a game against FC Porto. They asked for a friendly, and they offered me a ton of money to do it. So I said, yeah, sure, but they beat us 3-1. But then again, it's a training game. No one got hurt. We did decently. I got a lot of players, a lot of playing time. Hospitalet, who is our third division affiliate, drew with us thanks to a very lucky goal in the 74th minute. And then we played a friendly with Vallecano, and we absolutely thumped them 3-0, 25 shots, 13 on target. They had 3-1. I think they just showed up for the paycheck. Frankly, I'm okay with that as long as none of my players get injured. The season got off to a start. We played Osasuna and beat them 1-0 thanks to a goal by Elliot Fontaine in the 10th minute. The only thing that was concerning about this performance, we had 26 shots, 11 on target, a decent possession advantage, and we got the one goal. They sat back. They literally parked the bus. They played a 4-4-2 with two defensive midfielders, and they had their lone forward who ranged really high, and I pushed the line up. I mean, we were on their box line almost the entire match, and we still only got one goal. It was frustrating. And against Deportivo, we got FM'd. I think we got FM'd. We were up 2-0 at the beginning of the second half. They got a goal in the 71st minute, a goal in the 87th minute. Okay, maybe we didn't get FM'd because they had as many shots, almost as many targets as we did. The possession was equal. We didn't get FM'd. Okay, yeah, we didn't get FM'd. Against Deportivo La Coruna, I don't know what happened. The team thought we had it won because we were 2-0 up, and they gave up 2 goals within 16 minutes in the last quarter of the game. So I yelled at them. I really lost my temper. It was, you thought you heard the bollocking? Well, prepare for the bollocking part 2. We had some really good performances. Matheus had a really good performance. Evora had a really good performance. Schubert did nice, starting for us in the defensive center back position. We thought we had the game won, and we just, look, they scored. And it was, damn it, concentrate. And they got flustered. Why are you telling us to concentrate, coach? We're trying to win a game here. Oh, my God, are you kidding me? So, but the reason we stopped today is Champions League group stage draw. We are 4th pot. So, I'm going to draw all the teams here first, and then we'll come back to us. So the first group is Benfica, Chelsea, and Ajax. Second group, Barcelona, Milan, and Mainz. Mainz is the team that wants Helio. They're rich. Holy cow, they finished second in the Bundesliga. Unai Emery is their coach. Vilches is their current forward. He's a good forward. Why do you want to spend $80 million to come after my guy? Let me check something out here real quick. Transfer history. $4,032,000. 60 million, 102 sold. 27,600,000. Okay, so maybe they do have the 88 million to buy Helio. Okay, I'm a little bit more nervous about that. Wow, they've got a really good squad. Group C, Real Madrid, Man United, Spartak Moscow. Group D, Bayern, Monaco, and Napoli. Group E, Inter, Man City, Marseille. Group F, Arsenal, Dortmund, and Slavia Praha. Group G, Juventus, Celtic, and Leipzig. Group H, Paris Saint-Germain, Porto, and Eindhoven. Wow. Arsenal won the league last year. If I had to choose, I would love to go in Group G. I would take Group H. I know PSG will thump us, but we'd have a good shot of beating Porto and Eindhoven, I think. But I also know, I believe, we have a good shot of beating Celtic and Leipzig and making Juventus earn it. All these other groups are freaking wow. Ghent goes into A. Dinamo Zagreb goes into B. Sporting goes into C. Red Bull Salzburg goes into D. Crap. Marseille was second in League One last year. Man City was second in the Premier League last year. Inter won Serie A last year. Holy cow. Well, Champions League football was fun while it lasted. Ludogorets ends up in Group F. Galatasaray ends up in Group G. And Villarreal ends up in Group H. Why could we not switch with Group Villarreal? That is... wow. So... okay, let me save this real quick, and then we are going to be back and figure out what we're going to do. Well, I thought about playing the game against Sociedad today, but then the group stages popped up. So what we are going to do is get to Almira or Zaragoza, which is, well, who's considered weaker? Let's go to season preview. Yeah, they're picking Almira. Yeah, okay, so that's what we'll do. We are going to come back for Almira and Marseille. Probably play most of the youngsters or a lot of the youngsters against Almira. And then we'll have to figure out exactly what the heck we're going to do against Marseille. They've got a really good squad. Thierry Henry is back. That's cool. They finished second in Ligue 1 last year, and that's only because PSG outspends everybody. So that's been a fact since probably the early days of FM, or at least when they got bought out by the Qataris. I know in FM20, they spent gobs and gobs of money. It was not even fun. And it took me 4 or 5 years of being in League One before we finally beat PSG. And even then, we had to score 103 points to do it. So, okay, that's what we're gonna do. So, a transfer window that was really up and down, to be honest with you. It really could have gone either way. That said, I think the youngsters we brought in will be solid contributors in the future. I think we have a solid team right now. We're good enough to finish top 7 in La Liga, and that is the goal this year. Oh, on the loan offers, Vojnovic is going to Girona. They're guaranteeing him regular starter in his preferred position, in his preferred role. Real Sporting wanted him, but they only wanted him as a squad player. So I'd prefer him to be a regular starter. And frankly, I'm also at the stage now where if I get like more than 2 complaints from my loan manager about, hey, this player's being played out of position or he's not getting him out playing time, I just pull him back. So plus he's 17 years old, so I don't have to register him for La Liga games, which is nice. And kind of off on a tangent, Essa Mahamud is now a Spanish citizen, so he counts. No, he's not a Spanish citizen. He counts as having been trained at the club for 3 years, which he has been. So I don't believe he is taking up. Oh, he still is. But he counts as homegrown when it comes to registration rules. So, okay. Well, we got Marseille coming up. That's going to be fun. The Champions League is going to be fun. I want to be competitive. You know, if we manage to force the teams to fight for it, I'll be happy with that. The club certainly isn't looking at us to get past the group stage as it is. You know, they just want us to be competitive. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to be competitive. So I'd be interested in your feedback on the transfer window, what you think I should do about Helio. If you did like what you seen and heard, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more content, questions, criticisms, comments, leave those down below. I will answer those as fast as I can. My name is FM20. I thank you